We live in a time now where most people don't have access to horses. But less than a century ago, we depended on horses for everything. For farming, for transportation. I think that codependence and that love for one another is baked into our DNA. That connection really comes to life at a racetrack.
Come on, KK!
Jockey on the horse's back who's guiding the horse throughout the race. You'll find that jockeys are very lean and small.
They have to make sure that they monitor their weight the entire day.
Now this one, the devil. Nobody want to step on here.
But you have to stay healthy because these are 1,000-pound animals. These horses on the thoroughbred side are going speeds of 35 miles per hour.
Everything that's done in preparation for them is to get them to be the best athlete they can be.
And it's the only sport I can think of where an ambulance chases you the entire way. And if you're not sharp, bad things could happen.
I mean, we're not talking motorcycles. You're sitting on an animal. It has a mind of its own.
Like MJ, Michael Jordan, they got their own shoes too.
Thoroughbred racing definitely has a bit more glitz and glamour, and it is called the sport of kings. There is a real romance and poetry in the sport.
On the thoroughbred side, you might have 12 races. I call them different plays. There's different acts. You have different characters in each play.
I often wish people could watch a 2-minute race and somehow see everything that went on in the background to make that 2-minute race happen.
Horses like to train. They're competitors. They like to compete against each other. They're out there and they enjoy what they do.
How many years have you been doing this?
I was born into it.
So Kevin Attard is a trainer. He's a second-generation trainer. I remember as a kid, I would come to the races, and I knew who Kevin was, but Kevin didn't know who I was.
My friends kind of grow up in school or playing hockey on the weekends. I was at the racetrack. Originally, I kind of aspired to be a jockey, but then as I grew and got too big to kind of realize that dream was over, and I just kind of knew I was destined to become a horse trainer.
While he is amongst the best trainers, he's also one of the hardest working trainers that I see.
Andrew.
Kevin when he was 10, 11 at Tino's Bar. Just a real good guy.
They all really want what's best for the horse, and that's evident by the fact that they dedicate their lives to looking after these horses and bringing them to their full potential.
And now Kevin's training a lot of horses. I don't know how many are in his barn right now. I can't keep track.
How many horses are you training?
We've got 71 stalls here. Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of care that goes in, you know what I mean? We're monitoring their temperatures, we're monitoring their appetites, and we have chiropractors, we have acupuncturists, there's different massage therapy.
Easy, 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 easy.
Sometimes you get comfortable with them because you work with them every day and maybe you let your guard down a little bit, but at the end of the day, they're an animal, and then when they react, it's fast and it happens in a split second.
Attard was the victim of a freak barn accident that could have cost him his life.
I got to about here, and the horse kind of spun around and double-barreled me and kind of kicked me in the face. I was operated by a good doctor. He put about 6 metal plates in my face. They had to kind of pull my skull back out because it had sunk in. I had broken my nose.
It never really questioned what I wanted to do. I still loved horse racing, still loved the horses. You bounce back up and you get back on the horse, as they say, right? And away you go.
For jockeys, it's not if, it's when. It's how bad. Broken foot, messed up knees, you know, we get bashed and crashed. I did my humeral fracture in 2018. 2019 was the hand and the collarbone. I had received such a blow that my liver was lacerated. I broke my arm off. I mean, all that was holding on was the muscle and the skin. I have a 5.5-inch plate and 13 screws holding this shoulder back together again.
You see her, she's got scars, she's got pins in her, and yet she keeps bouncing back.
They used to call me Big Bad Serious Emma.
I think Emma's a bit of an adrenaline junkie. She loves to compete, and she loves to prove people wrong.
Told me I needed to learn how to do my hair, and when I was going to school because I couldn't wear a baseball hat. She says, you're not going to get a job where you can wear a baseball hat all the time. She was wrong.
Emma-Jayne Wilson will win the Bell Canadian Stakes.
I always wanted to be a jockey. It was always the dream. I always come to the races as a kid, you know. What do you want to be when you grow up? I'm going to be a jockey. There's high school football. There's college football. You know, you go to the pros. There's no high school jockey. There's no college racing. You dive in. If you're around racehorses, you give them you're going. And it's full tilt. Let's just say the first one I got on, that's what I did. And it was one of the most amazing experiences of my life because I didn't know I wasn't supposed to be going that fast. I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna set my path and I'm gonna go where the horses go. And I'm gonna learn and I'm gonna be prepared for when I come back to the track so that I'm ready to be a competitor.
And she had immediate success when she started riding. She is a fierce competitor.
You're one of the toughest jockeys I know, female, male, it doesn't matter.
You could put her up against anybody and you'd have the faith and confidence in her.
Her motto is, give her, let's go, and that's exactly what she got.
To experience what I've experienced, it's just unbelievable. You don't get that from a car in a car race. You only get that from a horse.
So you have the regular season, where those games, they matter, they're important, and there are numerous big races after that as well. The Prince of Wales Stakes at Fort Erie, then you have the Breeders' Stakes at Woodbine, but the race that you want to win is the King's Plate, and that's the Stanley Cup of Canadian horse racing.
There are great trainers that have trained here at Woodbine for years that one race has eluded them, and that's the Queen's Plate.
The Queen's Plate, or the King's Plate as it will be called, is what every Canadian rider dreams of.
And yes, you get changes in monarchy. It will sometimes be named the Queen's Plates, now the King's Plates. That is the longest continuously run stakes race in North America. It is longer than the Kentucky Derby. It has survived the Depression. It has survived wars. But the Gallop for the Guineas, also known as the King's Plates, that race just seems to survive anything.
It's the winningest Queen's Plate trainer in history, right there, Roger Adfield. Yeah.
Let's go back in time, 2007. How long had you wanted it? Was that the one you wanted more than anything?
You know, if you're Canadian and are directly involved in a Queen's Plate started this afternoon, this is like the 7th game of the Stanley Cup final. You've dreamt about it all your life, and now it's here.
Leading up to that Queen's Plate in 2007 with Alessandro, we've got a legit Queen's Plate horse.
Alejandro was one that would, you know, kind of cruise steady on the lead, and he had a big galloping stride. My agent came to me and he says, we're gonna ride this horse. His name's Mike Fox.
Brings us to the number 9, Mike Fox. Emma-Jayne Wilson is the rider.
And I remember they were concerned that little old me wasn't gonna be able to manage big old Mike Fox.
And I'd have to say, Jeff, this one's losing it just a bit here now.
Mike Fox was 15-1 morning line, but I knew going in I had a pretty good chance.
At the end of the day, you can think and plan everything out, but as soon as that gate opens, things can change in a blink of an eye.
They're off in the Queen's Plate. Mike Fox broke alertly from the extreme outside. Alessandro showing early speed.
I remember watching Mike Fox. He seems to be backing out. Emma's under a drive, and the horse doesn't seem to be getting any traction. Alessandro's still leading them.
Is Alessandro at the quarter pole. Jigs causes on the outside of Alessandro at the top of the stretch. And it's Alessandro asked for everything he has.
And I was gaining on the favorite. Wow. I could be second.
Mike Fox in a 3rd position, and in kudos is 4th. Alessandro. Mike Fox is coming hard on the outside. Alessandro and Mike Fox on the outside. Mike Fox got it. And Emma-Jayne Wilson becomes the first female jockey to win the Queen's Plate in 148 years, and she does it with a masterful ride. Wow, wasn't that something?
And it felt like somebody just ripped the heart out of me.
I know I had it though. He was moving so strong coming to the wire, and yeah!
I'm a champion jockey who's won the Queen's Plate. You can't take that away.
Obviously, I'll never forget that she beat me in the Queen's Plate, and maybe if there was somebody else on that horse that day, we would have won.
Emma-Jayne Wilson and Mike Fox, that training did pay off.
Unfortunately, when you're thinking of the Queen's Plate, you're not sure, are you going to be in this position again?
You team up with the best, and hopefully you get the best on the racetrack.
You want to be able to have that confidence in them to get that horse to the wire first.
Kevin is one of the best trainers. Rafael Hernandez is one of the best riders. Just makes sense.
Hi, Rafael. How are you?
Hi, Julia. And Julia.
Oh, no.
Oh, come on, Julia.
He's the best. Anything he wants, he gets.
No.
Anything.
You're the boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So here, you come in the Jockey's room. Here, you got your shower. Stop it! A lot of people here lose their weight to get ready for the race. Back in home in Puerto Rico, my father gave me a horse on Christmas. And I got a friend of mine who was on the horses. He told me, you know what, I think you can be a jockey. I don't even know what a jockey was, right? I got lucky, you know, that one of the trainers in America, they gave me the opportunity to come to Canada to ride for them, to ride here in Queen's Plate.
Brian Lynch said to Rafael Hernandez, Rafi, I've got a Queen's Plate horse for you. What's the Queen's Plate? Rafi said.
Charmin Ghost, trained by Brian Lynch, rider Rafael Hernandez.
Charmin Ghost, and Charmin Ghost takes the Queen's Plate a length.
I become a winner in 2015 Queen's Plate. Everything you will work for is payday.
I think Rafael's a smart rider, and he knows what to do if things maybe don't go as planned.
2016, I moved to Canada. That is beautiful, you know, especially when you have a family with the kids. And from that point to now, Queen's Plate. Like everybody else here in Canada, that's the goal.
There were a lot of dry years in between, no doubt about it. Obviously, 2007 is the first the closest opportunity, and then there were years where we didn't have anything.
We get paid to perform. We don't have contracts. We don't get paid unless we win.
Even though you have these little setbacks or injuries, you're looking to get back with the animals and the horses that you love.
What was your favorite moments working Ely last
year? Oh, come on. There's no question about that.
No question. Moira, hands down.
That's it. Right? That's it. We're gonna see Moira right now, the superstar, the real star of Woodbine racetrack. Everybody know Moira, and you guys gonna meet it now, Moira. So let's go see Moira. We come and see Moira. All right. So guys, this is Moira, the best horse filly of the year. Like I tell you guys, you see, you have to cut it for her. She don't do it. You know the new cars, they got the different modes, like comfort, she's now in comfort. When she got the sport mode, you want to be on top.
Kevin was just dying to win his first Queen's Plate.
And I think Rafael and myself, we have good chemistry together, and I think it transpires from that to the horse's back.
I tell Moira, put in clear Moira, say, Moira, it's all on you.
We knew we had a good horse in Moira.
Now, you have to run in today, and she just flying.
And they're off. And here comes the filly, Moira, and she's exploding down the outside, and in the blink of an eye has raced to the front, and it's Moira out in the lead 2 lengths, racing home his Call of Dreams down the outside. But the mighty filly has devastated them, and the 163rd Queen's Plate is a big win for Moira. She is stunning, wins 6 lengths.
Just a great horse. You know, kind of chokes up a little bit. You know, my first Queen's Plate winner. I knew she was a special horse. Filly beat the boys in track record time.
The fact that he won it, and he set a track record in the process. No horse had ever gone as fast as Moira did.
Gave my first Queen's Plate when I living in Canada, and first Queen's Plate for Kevin Natal.
Something I've thrived to do since I've been a kid, but it's all worth it in the end.
Once you got that rush and what it feels like to win, you want to have it on a consistent basis.
We were able to win it last season, and we're looking to come back now and win the King's Plate this year.
I would like to have a Queen's Plate and a King's Plate.
The last Queen Plate and the first King Plate, back to back. I tell you right now, I can feel it again.
We're heading to Western Fair Raceway in the Camelot Classic.
One of the biggest half-mile races in North America. That what it's called, Unfiltered?
Yeah.
I hope it's filtered a little bit.